Oh, that's just me. That's rude. Hey, everyone.
guys.
Hello.
How are we all?
Doing good. Doing
Very well.
good. Yeah.
How are you, John?
I'm going excellently. It's it's Friday for us here in Australia or the APAC region. It's
Yeah.
1 p.m. Feeling those Friday vibes, those weekend vibes.
Very
We've got a
nice.
few people joining us in the chat. So yeah, let us know where you're joining us from and what time it is over there.
Yeah. What time is it for you, Tyler? You're an hour behind, right?
Yeah, it's an hour behind, so it's noon. It's just past noon right now for me.
So you're thinking about lunch, but you
Yeah.
can't have lunch.
Hope you had an early lunch.
I
in
did.
preparation.
Yeah. Should be
Awesome.
fine.
So
Have
maybe
we got someone else from Japan?
Do we?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, Tetsuya Harada. Konnichiwa, Tetsuya-san.
Yeah. Welcome
Yeah,
to the
thanks for
stream.
joining from Japan. Nice.
Yeah, not sure if I've noticed you in the chat before. So if this is your first stream, welcome.
Yeah,
It's gonna be fun. It's 11 a.m. over in the Philippines. So that's a very reasonable time. 10 a.m. in Indonesia.
Yeah.
So yeah, this
It's a nice way
this
to
is
start today.
a pretty reasonable time. We've got
Yeah.
10 p.m. over in Missouri. And then 8:35 a.m. in India. So yeah, I feel like for most people, other than I guess it's impossible to get all of the time zones, like make it convenient for everybody across the world. But I guess just the UK would be probably not the best time right now, or most of Europe probably.
Yeah.
Sorry, our
but yeah.
friends in Europe.
Vicky, yeah, is a
saying
Supabase
they
and
love
Flutter fan.
Supabase as much as Flutter. So that is very good, because if you didn't read the title for this episode, or if you haven't joined us previously, this week we're finally going to start the Flutter app that we have been talking so much about. And if you haven't joined us before, it's been basically Tyler is our Flutter expert, also an expert at Next.js and just everything. But definitely more of an expert in Flutter than Alaister or I, who have never written anything in Flutter or even Dart. So
it'll be fun.
I was reading the description, John. It's quite funny, the last line.
I missed that. What does it say?
Watch Tyler lead the way as Alaister and Jon stare with blank looks on their face and try to keep up. That about sums it up.
I could see the future. I knew exactly what this whole stream is going to be. So
you know what? It'll be fun, because Flutter is such a simple language, or Dart is a simple language to learn, and Flutter is really easy. So you guys should be able to pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah, awesome. I'm keen to learn everything I need to know in this one single episode, and then go and build myself a mobile app using Supabase and Flutter over the weekend. So that's the goal. You gave us probably what, like 6 streams to build the Next.js side, and now we're giving you one. You have this one stream to build the entire Flutter app. No, I'm joking. This will probably be, I don't know,
few episodes, right? Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, 3 or 4 episodes, I reckon. There's no need to rush through it. There's plenty to learn about Dart and Flutter, and I guess if we get to it, we haven't actually chatted about this, but I'm assuming like we can maybe deploy this to
the App Store,
an App Store or something, or is that a bit too far? Is that stretching?
Well, if we maybe Android, but iOS is like, it's a nightmare.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can try it out, maybe.
Or even talking through the process, like what we would need to do.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the thing that always makes me most excited about the idea of building mobile apps is being able to deploy these to app stores and people be able to download them and install them. I guess that's probably why I lean more towards the web development side, is you kind of get that, you build a website, you deploy it, and then you can just send someone a URL, and anyone anywhere in the world can just like go and see that thing live. That's something that has always amazed me.
Certainly.
Live in a crazy time.
We might be able to do a test flight app on iOS. They're not too hard to do.
That might be possible. That might be one possible.
But we'll see how far we get.
Yeah. No pressure. Just by the end of this episode, we want to have it deployed to both app stores, and that's the goal. That's our pass or fail metric of whether we've done what we needed to do in this single stream. It is 6 a.m. 6:06 in Uganda.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Such early morning. Thanks for signing in.
Yeah, and someone joining us from Latam, Ecuador.
Oh,
Very
nice,
cool.
nice.
And Ines is back.
Every time.
Every single live stream, I think. And I think every single live stream I remind you to please DM me so I can hit you up with swag, and you never do. So, yeah, that's fine. We'll just send it to a random address if you don't let us know where you live. We'll just hope.
I think he was in Perth, right?
Well, I mean, how many houses are there in Perth?
Yeah,
How many addresses?
10 people in Perth.
Yeah, we'll just pick one. We'll just go. We'll open up Google Maps. We'll just go Perth, random address. Just drop it somewhere in the middle. Hopefully, it reaches you. But yeah, I guess who we are. We haven't actually.
Right. Forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm Jon. I'll take this off the screen. I'm Jon. Jon Meyers. I work at Supabase. I work in DevRel, so I'm a developer advocate. And yeah, I get to do these weekly streams with Alaister and Tyler and get to learn a whole bunch about Supabase that I don't know, and now a whole bunch about Flutter that I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, I'm Tyler, and I'm also a DevRel at Supabase, and I mainly focus on Flutter side of things, but up until now, I enjoyed coding with Jon and Alaister, making Next.js app, and starting today, we're starting Flutter stuff, so I'm super excited about it. Yeah.
And I'm Alaister. You can usually find me on the front end team, I suppose, but also coming out every week for the happy hour. Yeah, and also very ready to learn some Flutter. So yeah,
and as we joke,
dive into it.
Yeah, as we joke every week, like this is the best option you have to getting so many people from the Supabase team in one place that you can grill about any problems that you're having. So make sure you join us live if you want us to fix all of your tech problems, or even just help you build your applications. Speaking of exactly that, if I share my screen, oop, not that one, that one. Yeah, this is Supabase. This is us. But this week, I don't know if you caught the Learn with Jason stream, but he put out this awesome hour and a half stream where he was playing with Realtime and chose to use Supabase for that. So yeah, this was a really cool episode where he built a mono repo using NX with a React application and or a couple of React applications. And a Supabase backend to create a conference talk or an interactive tool for doing conference talks, or if you're running a meeting or something like that, where you can collect in real time the sentiment of whether the audience agrees with what you're saying or disagrees with what you're saying. So yeah, super fun example, super great example for building a real-time application. But at the end of the stream, he didn't quite get it implemented, and he was just missing a couple of small things to finally get those real-time events pumping through to the front end. So I put together we don't get an image. There we go. A real-time follow-up, which you should also check out if you're interested in just how that code could be slightly improved, how you can optimize it slightly for Supabase, and yeah, and the bits that were missing if you did catch that stream. Also this week, Tyler put together, there we go, this awesome video, this awesome Supabase tips video. So what's this one about, Tyler?
Yeah, this one's about mass filters. So this one's not necessarily focusing on Flutter, but mostly JavaScript side of thing. But yeah, if you have been watching our streams, there's an EQ filter and mass filter that you can use along with your Supabase query to filter down your query results with equality. And until Jon told me about this mass filter, I was using EQ statements, like a bunch of EQ statements, if I wanted to have multiple equality statements. Like, for example, if I'm searching through a restaurants table, and if I want to search restaurants in Tokyo that has outdoor seating and yeah, stuff like that, I would chain multiple EQ statements. But Jon told me that there's a mass filter that I can use instead of chaining multiple EQ statements. And I thought, I was like, wow, I did not know this. I should put it in a video. So here it is. Yeah, you can learn about how you can simplify your code using mass filter instead of using multiple EQ statements.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see this only came out yesterday and it's already got 753 views. So I think a lot of people agree with you that this is definitely a very useful Supabase tip and thing to know. And I think that's something that I love about doing these weekly streams is like, yeah, I learn so much from you and Alaister every week. And then that's basically feeding into the next like 3 months of content that I'm going to create and claim for my own. So yeah, I think this is just an awesome place for even us who work at Supabase full time to learn things about Supabase. And so definitely an awesome place for people who don't work at Supabase, who don't work with these tools every day to learn heaps. So yeah, very excited to see even more Supabase tips come out in the future. I forgot to chuck this one in there, but you did a stream with the people from SolidJS.
Yeah. So we invited Dan from SolidJS, the core member of SolidJS, and we had fun creating a real-time to-do list app. It ended up being like a comments feed app at the end where we actually deployed the app and then people were commenting on that to-do list and we were seeing all that comment threads. But it was really fun. I got to learn SolidJS, the basics of SolidJS. So if you're interested in SolidJS but haven't got started with it like I was, definitely go check it out. There's some really awesome tricks that Dan has taught me here and there. So it was a really awesome one. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I only managed to catch the middle of the stream because I had meetings on both sides of it. But it was, the bit that I did catch, it looks so interesting. So I've got to go back and watch it on 2 times speed or something to see what's going on.
Yeah. So I'd recommend, if you are keen to see more of this kind of content, if you go to YouTube/C/Supabase and come and subscribe and tick that or click that little icon, the little bell icon, then you'll get notified when any of this stuff goes live. And also either in the chat or just hit us up on Twitter and let us know any other like longer form streams that you think would be valuable, any other tools that you'd like to see integrating with Supabase, and also just any of those kinds of short tip videos. What kinds of things do you wish you understood more about Supabase, or what do you think would work well in that format? But what we're here to build today is our beautiful Happy Chat app. So if you haven't joined us previously, we've been building out this Happy Chat app, which is an XJS application. And I haven't filled out any of the README, so it's just a standard create next app README. We should probably fix that up at some point.
Yeah.
But the actual deployed application is this one. So with our beautiful color scheme.
Beautiful.
Can we match the colors in Flutter?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh yeah, can we install Tailwind in Flutter?
No, that's not a thing in Flutter, but we can make it similar.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so if you head over to happychat.vercel.app, I can chuck that into the comments there, into the chat. If you head on over here, you can register a new user. We haven't done the styling on that page, but now we can put the pressure on for Tyler to fix all the things that we didn't finish off in our Next.js app and build them into the Flutter app. But once you have an account, if you log in, I'm going to log in as Thor again. I think it was .io and his super secure password.
Ooh.
Oh, this happened last time. I thought I did tell it to remember my credentials, not .com. Invalid credentials.
I think it was .io from memory.
.io. Oh, no, I'm in.
Nice.
So now I'm logged in as Thor. And these are, we didn't fix that overflow problem, but these are the different rooms that I am a part of, that I'm a participant in. So I can go into someone's room. I don't know if I should just click into one of these rooms. We haven't actually done any moderation on like.
Happy. Happy was our room from last week.
All right, we'll do Happy. I might zoom out a little bit so this doesn't look as silly. But yeah, this is our Happy room. We can click there, I think, to rename it. So if we wanted to call it Real Happy, and smiley face, then we can rename that room. And we've got people that are joining us right now live. I think this is Tyler and Alaister right now, right? This is live. Yeah, very cool chat application. You can see down here we have the people that have been invited into this room, and if we hover over them, we can see who each of those people are. And yeah, each of these rooms is private. And so if you want to add people to that room, you need to add their username up here, which doesn't have any UI around like finding someone with that username.
Looks great.
But I think Jon was one of them. And so if Jon will need to type something before they appear as a person down here. But yeah, just as a quick kind of overview, this is the Happy Chat application. And if we go into, I think there was the classic room. So this was the first room that we created. So you can see there's a whole bunch of people who have joined us across different streams. And yeah, so this is where we got up to with the Next.js application. So I guess I'm going to hand it over to Tyler now, and he's going to show us how to build a Flutter app.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Okay, so if I go ahead and share my screen right now.
Yeah, while Tyler's sharing his screen, there's a couple of good questions. I think Vicky asks. It's, yeah.
All right. Okay. Do you have any plans for your official Flutter SDK? So we do have a community built Flutter SDK right now, and that's pretty much the official Flutter SDK that I use to create my Flutter apps, and that's the SDK that we're gonna be using today to create the Flutter app. So yeah, head over to what is it? Google Flutter Supabase, and it should be the one of the ones that come up at the top. So yeah,
awesome.
Was there any plans to move that over to away from the community repo? Is that something you were talking about?
Some exciting things happening behind the scenes. So yeah.
No spoilers.
Yep.
Was it this quick start one? If I post that in the comments, was it the Flutter Supabase community Supabase Flutter quick start?
Yeah, so this is the official Flutter SDK. Yeah, I forgot that I was sharing my screen. I should have just shown it. But yeah, so if you go to pub.dev and search Supabase Flutter, this is the official Supabase Flutter SDK, and we'll be using this today to build our Happy Chat app. So yeah,
awesome.
Go check it out, definitely.
Cool. And Nifty is saying, Nifty Nate is saying, Supabase. Yes, Supabase is the bomb. It is great. And the match filter is good. It makes me feel like I'm filtering in MongoDB. Yeah, absolutely. That match filter is just, awesome. Just being able to pass it an object with like multiple things that you want to match on is, very cool.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it, right? Okay. Hello from not Japan. Okay, so let's go over the setup that I have right now. So basically what I have right now is I went to my terminal and ran flutter create happy chat. Now after I ran this, I went ahead and opened it on my VS Code, and here I am. I basically have a blank Flutter application that I haven't really done anything on it yet. And I also have a emulator open up here, and for some reason I'm using a very old-fashioned iPhone emulator, but that's okay. It'll run. So I think the first thing that we want to try out is let's just run this code on my emulator and see if it actually runs.
Sounds good to me.
That's always the first step, right? So while that is cooking, it might take a bit to start it up, but what you'll see is a starter application that every Flutter application comes with. So Flutter is I like to say it's pretty similar to React, but not the modern functional programming React, but the old-fashioned class components React. So it's very object-oriented. We have this class called my app, and then we also have a my homepage class. So we can see that the emulator has actually started. Now what this is doing is there's a button at the bottom right, and if you press that button, this counter will increment by 1 every single time I click it. So that's kind of it, but that's doing a basic demonstration of being able to use states in Flutter. So the way
feature
states
complete. Let's push that to the App Store. I wonder how many apps there are on the App Store that are
sure there's
just
a lot.
this Flutter demo.
Yeah. But the way it works is in Flutter, there's two types of widgets. So everything in Flutter is widgets. Flutter is composed of combinations of widgets, and there's two types of it. There's a stateful widget and there's a stateless widget. Now, stateful widget is types of widget that can contain states. Now, stateless widgets is widgets that doesn't contain states. So you might give it a parameter and it'll render something, but you cannot change the internal states later on. Like you have to change the parameter that you pass on to it. What this is doing is we have a variable named counter, and then every single time this increment counter function is called, we're setting a state and we're incrementing that counter value by 1. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. Doesn't look so complicated. And now this build method is where all the magic happens of the rendering. So anything that you return within this build method gets rendered on your screen. And if we scroll down here, we have a scaffold widget. Scaffold widget creates a basic template of this material design UI. So it has a white background, it has this app bar, it has this floating action button, and everything. Now, if we go into the body part of this scaffold, which is this middle section, this white middle main section, we have a center widget, which centers its child to the center of the page. And then we have column, and inside that column, we have two texts. One text contains, you have pushed the button this many times, this text above that number 7, and then we have this another text widget that contains the this counter value in displaying it. And then we have this floating action button at the bottom right.
So this is kind of like, so the other two are kind of like display flex. And then by setting a column, like an individual column, that's like setting the flex direction to column, right? So
exactly.
Be, displayed underneath each other.
Yeah, exactly. And we have this, so just as you explained, we have this column widget and row widget, and this notion of like flexbox is heavily used within Flutter as well. So we have this main axis alignment center, which aligns everything to the center along with the main axis, and then there's a cross axis alignment as well. So this one will, move things along the crossing axis.
So kind of like align items center or align items start or something like that, and then justify content would be the other axis, right?
Yeah, exactly,
right.
exactly.
And these are just widgets that come with Flutter itself. Like, have we just run just like a Flutter create project kind of CLI command to get this starter project?
Exactly. Yeah, nice thing about Flutter is that a lot of the things that you're going to be using is already contained within Flutter, and that's why I think a lot of, especially beginners, love Flutter, is because everything's bundled in. Like you have this nice UI framework to create beautiful UI fairly easily, and it also comes with a testing framework as well. So you don't really have to install like Mocha or Jest or anything like that. It's just there. For us to just get up and running with testing. So it comes with testing framework, it also comes with types. So, unlike JavaScript where you have to like explicitly install TypeScript, Dart is strongly typed by default. So yeah, I think those are some of the reasons why Flutter is so popular these days, because it's all in one.
That's very cool.
Nice.
And that testing language looked very like kind of natural language stuff, like just like find this icon and then just tap on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Yeah. So yeah, this starting applications awesome, but like those people that have done something within Flutter, I'm sure you're pretty bored with it. The very first thing that I do with a starting application is every single Flutter application comes with a bunch of these comments that we don't really need, like we don't really read once we know, you get used to Flutter. So I like to delete all of these comments, and the way I do it is
Oh, you
by
got a good way. I was just going to help.
yeah. / dot star, and we can choose the regex selector, and we can replace all with empty strings, and
Nice.
just like that. All the
Hot tips
comments
from Tyler.
yeah, delete it, and we can do the same for pubspec YAML. So this is like package.json in any kind of JavaScript application where it contains all the dependencies of this applications. And this file also comes with a bunch of comments. Let's do the same thing. In this
Is there
case,
a similar notion of like an npm for Flutter? Is there like a cloud dependency?
I think we saw it earlier, right? It was pub.dev,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, right. Cool.
This is that. Yeah, so this is the website that you can search for different tools, packages, everything.
Cool.
So yeah, this is, and we'll be coming back to this pretty soon. But yeah, so just like that, we deleted all the unnecessary comments. Now, the first thing I like to do, the second thing I like to do is get rid of this default application, because that's not what we're going to be building. Let's create a pages folder within here. Some people like to call it screen. Some people like to call it pages. I just call it pages just because I go back and forth with Next.js and Flutter, and I like to keep it consistent. But I think the first thing we built in Next.js was login page, right? Or was it register
Seems
page?
like a register login. Up to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah. Could you
Let's start from-
also bump up your font size one? Just
Oh.
a good old Command plus, I think.
Sure. One more. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I guess we still have, because this is all. Sorry, I probably should have called this out at the start. The whole idea behind this stream series is that we wanted to build a multi-platform application backed by the same Supabase instance, and so we wanted to create one Supabase backend that worked for our Next.js application, and then see if we can use exactly the same backend for this Flutter app, or see what we would need to change to be able to use it for Flutter. And so I guess, yeah, building the login page kind of makes sense because we already have those accounts in Supabase. We used Supabase Auth for our Next.js application. And so all of those accounts are still there, and we can either choose to authenticate in the Flutter application or on the Next.js app.
Yeah, thanks for that. So there are some really nice shortcuts in Flutter, and that's another thing that I like about Flutter. But if we type stl, it creates a basic stateless widget just like that.
Very
And
handy.
this is not a shortcut that I have set up in my VS Code. This is something that comes with the VS Code Flutter extension automatically. So it's very nice, and every page needs a scaffold. So scaffold is the widget that creates the basic layout of any Flutter page. Now let's just say we wanna start out from login page. So login page, what did I do? And change the name of it.
Is
Okay.
a const actually a constant in Dart, or is it like JavaScript where like it's a constant reference to?
It's more of a JavaScript kind of thing. It's not exactly a constant. Yeah.
So you could, if you did like a const, like just a simple number or a string, you wouldn't be able to change that. But if you set it to something more complex, like an object,
exactly,
or an array of something, then that can be modified.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously this login page is going to be more complicated than just a string or something. It'll contain, forms and states and everything, and we can still call it a constant. But yeah, the thing that we want to get started with is let's create some layout. So let's create an app bar first, and we're going to give it a title to it. So let's just call this login. With this, we got a nice app bar with the title saying login. Now, Let's see. So we want some body, and inside that body, we want to have. Let's create a list view. List view is a scrollable vertical widget where we can give it multiple children, and we'll be able to scroll through it. Now, the tricky part about Flutter is, if it's a mobile, we're gonna have some keyboard showing up once in a while, and we have to keep that in our mind. So, like, the screen size might change is the tricky part. So I like to always wrap my forms inside a list view. Now, in Next.js, we got to use that nice Flutter Auth UI library to get up and running, but unfortunately, we don't have that in Flutter yet. Another hint there, but we don't have it yet. So we're gonna have to create a form from scratch. Now, in order to create forms, let's see, let's do this. So we want to include a form. So let's create a parent widget. This is another shortcut that we can use. We can wrap this child widget with another widget and call this a form widget. Now, every form needs a form key. Let's just build a UI first, actually. So we have text editing. What was it? It's amazing that how much you forget when you're on camera, huh? It's like this thing that you've been doing throughout the entire time, and you kind of just forget it. So text form field. What did I do?
Nice.
Field.
While you're working through that, Vicky is saying, "Hi, Tyler, you're going out of topic. You don't need to teach Flutter." He absolutely does need to teach Flutter. Alaister and I have no idea. So yeah, it's so good getting a quick overview of what Flutter apps actually are and how they come together.
It's a good mix, isn't there? Yeah, I feel like.
And Owen is saying, Dart is so amazing. I love Supabase. So yes, I'm becoming a big fan of Dart already. And yeah, I also love Supabase. Supabase is great.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a basic text form field where we can type things here. Now, a few things that I want to do is first, let's make this a stateful widget instead of stateless widget, because we are going to need to store those input values as states. And the way we do that in Dart is like this. So we can have a email controller text. Really forgetting things. Like, I don't know why. It's the pressure.
Yeah, it's all the eyeballs.
And say that yeah, this is very like reminds me a lot of, like you were saying, that the class-based React components, because yeah, I remember that distinction between like a stateless functional component. So before we had hooks in React and before you could use things like useState functions, it was impossible to manage state within a functional component. And so that was kind of the distinction between using a class-based component and a function component. And that seems to be very similar here, where you have these stateless components, which are like functional components, where you can pass in props so they can know about state, but they can't kind of manage their own state. And then a stateful component is kind of like that class-based component from React.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so I've done a few things here, but I created a nice text form field, which is this one that you see here. It takes a keyboard type of email address so that we can type email address, and then this email controller variable that I've declared up here is passed to this text form field to later extract the value that whatever user has put into this text box. So we're gonna need that, we're gonna need that, and we're gonna need another one of them with to hold a password.
It's nice to see a bit of a more structured way than React about, handling form inputs and everything, because React's just kind of like, yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, and that's something people like about React though, isn't it? That you get the whole freedom of like whatever you can choose to do whatever you want to, and some people like that. Some people like to have more structures, I guess, and I guess I do understand both side of things,
Yeah, I
but
think it's probably a case of, grass is greener on the other side of the field, like
yeah.
type situations.
People both love and hate everything about React and
Yes.
every other framework.
Yeah. So now we can also create a button to says log in. Okay. So we got some form kind of thing going on here. And in order to complete this form, I am going to need to create a form key. Form key. Wow, I am losing my mind right now. Global key. Form state. Yep. Okay, so that's good. Now we can pass that form key to this form. Now what this does is it allows to run validation. So validation is in Flutter is really beautiful actually. We can give each input field a validator function where it'll take a value and it'll return either null if it's valid or a string with an error message. So if we can say something like if val is empty. Okay, it's not letting me do that because value can also be null. Right, okay, so if val is null, return, please fill in email address into val is null or val is empty. Okay. Otherwise, we can return null. So just by this, if we run the validator here, final is valid. It's really hard going back and forth with Next.js and Flutter, isn't it?
Someone shouted out, Homie Coder shouted out in the chat that you coded SolidJS from scratch last stream and now Flutter this stream. The force is strong in this one. So
Yeah.
a lot of love for those jumping between those different languages and knowing all of the things.
Yeah, thanks for understanding. But so we have defined this validator on this text form field, right? We can hit login button, which would fire this on pressed, which I'm running this validator function. So let's see what happens. It comes with this default, validation UI, and it's an easy way to like, pass in the error message. So this is really nice that we don't have to like install Formic or other third-party libraries to do nice validation. Of course, there's other validation libraries that, makes it even better, but to my opinion, this is good enough to get started.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess like you can like have all of those things built in because I'm assuming this is being compiled into like an application that you then upload to the App Store and people only download it once. Like if you had I guess the reason that you don't have all of this stuff available to you in just like a React app or whatever is all of it would need to be bundled up and then downloaded anytime someone visits your application. Whereas with a mobile app, you kind of like you have that separation of like there's a stage where someone downloads it and then they can just run it directly from their phone.
Yeah, exactly. So, the data that you go do back and forth with the server is really minimal, right? So you get to save a lot of data. So I think we have a pretty basic form going on here, and we can say if is valid is true, or let's say if valid is not true, just hit return, and we can pass these values to, I guess, Supabase. I think we're ready to sign people up, except we haven't installed the Supabase SDK yet. So let's just do that. And the typical way of people installing Flutter dependencies is not through command line, but through actually copying that package value into pubspec YAML, and we can paste it just right here. There's a command line way of installing things, and I've seen people do that as well, but I got used to this
it's
copy
nice
and
that
pasting.
it runs the thing for you when you hit save.
Yeah, you don't even have to like manually run npm install or anything. It just works, copy and pasting, and yeah, that's nice. So
That's cool.
So we have Supabase installed. We have to initialize Supabase before we can actually use it, and we'll be doing that in this main.dart screen right now. And if I could bring up my cheat sheet. One thing that's missing from Flutter is that support for environment variables by default. There's third-party packages that enable environment variables, but by default doesn't have the concept of environment variables. So I usually just Supabase instance.
It's good that the Supabase anon key and URL are both public values. So
yeah, exactly.
It's okay to keep them in your code.
Yep, I just hard code it like this, unless I'm doing like a more big application where I have like dev environment and local environment. But this works fine. So,
and a reminder for anyone out there who does decide to put this in their code, just make sure that you have RLS or row level security turned on for all of your tables, because this will give people the ability to insert, update, delete, whatever they want, unless you have RLS turned on, which denies everything by default, and then you can write your row level policies to enable those actions.
yep. So I am in my Flutter, Supabase console, and I'm copying the project URL as my URL, and then anon key 2 is the anon key, and that's it. So Supabase has been initialized.
Awesome. And Homie Coder was just wondering whether what validation was run by default on that email field.
Right. By default, so I'm only doing a very basic validation where it's checking if it's empty or not. Obviously, I guess you would want to. Oh, it's up here. Yeah, you would want to check if it's a proper email format or not. But I think you can. Yeah, for that, I think you have to run like a more complex logic using regex, which I could get into, but I can just leave it like this for now. Like we're gonna get our error anyway if we try to sign into Supabase and if it's not a proper email. So let's just do that for now. So we can call supabase.instance.client.auth. So we're calling the Supabase auth. And then from here on, we can call the sign in method. And on this one, we have email, which is the email that we get from this email controller that we declared up there. And password is password controller dot text that we got from up there. So we can just pass this, and we don't really have that shortcut notation that it has. We have to type in every single one of them. But I think this is it. Yeah, so we make this function async. We're calling Supabase instance dot client.
Cool. So async await exists as well.
It does exist. Yeah, it's just the place where you put the async. Yeah, it's not here, but it's in the middle.
just to trip you up when you're switching back and forward
I know,
between
right?
languages.
You know, right? Yeah. So let's see if we get any errors. If there is not null, let's show a snack bar. So what snack bar is? A snack bar is kind of nice. Scaffold messenger. So snack bar allows you to show a small piece of text at the bottom of your screen. So, you know, when an error like this occurs, it's really nice to a really nice way to give feedback to the user. So snack bar.
Is this kind of similar to like is it a toast message in?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Snack toast. I wonder what the theme is.
Yeah, it's all Google, right? I don't know why they keep changing the name, but
some very, very hungry developers that just wish they could take a break and go and have some food instead of coding notification widgets.
Okay, so let's actually show the snack bar just for fun to demonstrate what snack bar looks like. Okay, press this thing. This is the snack bar that you'll see.
Cool.
So,
does
nice.
it automatically dismiss itself after a certain amount of time?
It does.
Awesome.
Nice, right? Okay, so I think we have a nice login screen. Let's give it a red background.
I guess it's slightly nicer than our big alert in our previous streams. Using the browser's built-in alert to basically do the same thing, just pop up a message to the user.
And okay, let's try to log myself in if I could remember my credentials. So it's Tyler plus, what is it, +1? Did I do +1 at supabase.io? I think it was that. And then I think I typed password for password. Nobody copy that. It's a very secure password. And I don't know why I capitalized it. But I type login. Of course, it's gonna yell at me for something. Right. Yep. I think I forgot to run one thing, which is I need to add this thing at the beginning of my main function because some unknown reasons that I'm not going to even try to explain. But that is this. Okay, right. Okay, so everything's working. The way it's the reason why it's complaining is because whenever we install a plugin that accesses native features. So the way Flutter works is it runs Dart code, but then when it wants to access some of the native features, like accessing local storage or accessing files locally and stuff like that, it'll create this thing called oh my god, I'm really forgetting my mind. Yeah, platform channel. Yeah, so whenever you add a plugin that uses those platform channels or platform methods, it'll need to restart the emulator or installation. So that's the reason why I was complaining. So I'm just restarting. I just stopped the emulator and then I'm restarting right now. What's my take a minute or two. But once that's done, it should be good to log me in.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
is Dart, just while this is loading, is Dart a standalone programming language that you can just use for general programming, and then Flutter? So people used Dart to build mobile apps, and then Flutter is a framework that sits on top of that gives us all of these widgets and all of these things built in, so all the kind of common pieces that you would need for building a mobile app, and just uses Dart uses Dart as the language to
I think that was a perfect explanation. I don't know what I can add to that, but yeah, exactly. Dart is just a standalone programming language, not necessarily tied to Flutter. You can even write server-side code using Dart, and in fact, there's people writing server-side code Dart that uses Supabase. So there's a Supabase Dart plugin that is separated from Flutter completely, so you can use that package on your server side or anything anywhere as long as Dart runs. So yeah,
Nice.
let's try that. Invalid login credentials. It's not
Getting closer
+1.
though.
Plus
Now it's your
two?
fault, not just
Plus
missing
2?
code.
No, okay.
You can't type the password though. Maybe we quickly build the register page so you can.
Well, I could
Let's
log
do
you in
that.
as Thor if you wanna.
Well,
try that.
the trouble is we've got to show the password to everyone on stream, right?
Oh
They
yeah,
can
no, that's
see the
fine.
Is that a
letters.
problem?
I'm pretty sure he said it. Like, the only reason I know it is because he said it on the stream.
Oh,
So
Oh,
it's
is it-
Thor at
That's all right then.
supabase.com.
.com.
And then I think it was .com, right? And then just testing.
Just testing all lowercase?
Yeah, and then 1, 2, 3, I think.
1, 2, 3.
Looks like it worked.
Okay, it's working.
You're Thor
Yeah.
now. We're
Okay,
all
great.
Thor.
Great, so login page is working. Now let's build a register page, and I'm just gonna copy this entire. Or should we? Yeah, let's just do a register page. We're gonna need that anyway, I guess. Register page .dart.
And yeah, Vicky has been on it in the chat basically every time you've got stuck as you're working through what needs to be done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, they've been posting exactly what is missing, like right when you work out what it needs to be. And
it's a very different story when you're actually typing it through, isn't it, John? I admire you now. It's very different. You forget everything literally.
Yeah.
So we have the register. So let's
the benefit on my end though is that like basically I only write Next.js or like Remix code, which is like, you know, it's all based on React. So I guess I pretty much only write React or Node pretty much exclusively, I guess. Whereas you're jumping between two completely different languages.
Yeah, the worst part is it's only slightly different, you know? If it was like completely different, it might not be this bad. It's like slightly different. Like, you know, async goes in the middle or the beginning, or yeah, that's the worst part. So in register we have additional field, right? Username controller. Let's name that. And so we have the username input field, just a standard text input field, and I think that's good. Username equals. Now we want to call, what is it, sign up. And sign up method takes some email password. And auth optional user metadata, right? We decided to put it inside user metadata. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, so user metadata could take, and what was the key for this? Is it just username?
I think so.
Name?
Yeah.
Lowercase?
No, I think it was all lowercase.
Okay.
But we'll find out.
Yep. So yeah, that's the nice thing about triggers, right? If it was the wrong key, then it's just gonna not let me sign up, and it'll spit up a error. So should we do that? Should we cause error unintentionally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
So
Give it a go.
I think this is all good, right? Username. I guess I can change this to register. Okay. I think that's good. Let's create tiler 3 because I keep forgetting my credentials. Supabase.io. Just gonna password so that everybody can remember my password next time. And this is going to be tiler 3. Okay. If I hit register, Okay, null value in column username. Oh wow, that's beautiful, isn't it?
That is indeed the error.
That is indeed the error. So we need a username.
Very cool.
Let's hit register again. And I probably should have added something at the end, but I think we're
No
registered.
news is good news.
Okay, great. So I guess we can. I think that's it for the register and login page, except the styling's kind of ugly, not happy chatty, but I think we can fix that later on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
So
yeah.
maybe we should
So
do a landing page displaying the list of rooms that someone can click into, rooms that they're participants of.
great. Yeah. Let's do that. Rooms page. It's gonna be more like a home page, right? Home.
Yeah. Is there a
page.
concept of like the page that you open to and then like automatically routing someone to that login page if they haven't yet signed in?
Yeah, we can do that. There's a way to that. So we'll implement that logic later on, but
Sure.
yeah, let's just create a basic home page that includes all the rooms, scaffold. So we have a home page. That is, and let's change this home to a home page. So now we are inside homepage. We, as usual, are gonna start out by creating an app bar. So title is gonna be rooms. Okay, rooms. And then body, inside this body, we are going to list out every single room that this person is inside. So basically what we want to do is we want to load all the rooms, right? Because row level security is going to take care of filtering. So we don't really care. We don't really have to care about filtering the proper rooms that we're in. We can just load every single room, and then that'll automatically be filtered with the rooms that we have access to.
Yeah.
So this is a nice trick that I wanted to show. I wanted to show off basically. So we have this nice stream method inside our Flutter SDK where we can automatically get the initial data as well as the real-time data all in one method. So
Oh, wow.
before I demonstrate that, let me change this to a stateful widget.
And just quickly while you're doing that, Vicky is heading off to take their Postgres exam. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
good
It's
luck with that.
exciting.
Just
Yeah.
write Supabase for every answer. That's that's how you
Guaranteed
pass the
pass.
Postgres exam.
Yeah. How do you create a table in Postgres? Well, go to Supabase.
Yeah,
Go
that's
to the
right.
table editor. Create table.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, so we have a stateful widget, and inside this stateful widget, we can do something like this. So init state, inside a stateful widget, we have a method called init state, and essentially this is like on mount kind of thing, where it's called once when this widget is added to the widget tree. And we have also dispose as well in Flutter to do some cleanup. So these are the basic methods to run the initial code and like dispose or cleanup code. Now the method that I want to use is Stream Builder is a nice widget that allows you to build widgets from a stream, and stream is kind of like observables in JavaScript or TypeScript, I guess, where you continuously get data from a data source and you can do whatever you want to with them. So we have a nice method in Supabase where it's like a Supabase instance dot client dot from, and we are loading data from rooms table, and we have stream. So we have this stream method that we don't have elsewhere, where we can pass in the list of primary keys and listen to real-time changes on that on this rooms table. So it'll be more exciting once this I complete this whole thing. But so I just builder. So basically, yeah, I get all the data inside this snapshot, and a few things that I have to do before I get started is like initially there's no data, so I have to take care of that state. Loading. And then just return. Okay, not very good at talking and typing, but yeah, there's a few things going on right now. So basically, I'm listening to a stream of data from this rooms table, and then I'm receiving those data, putting it inside a variable. And then what I want to do is I want to loop over those variable and display a nice, I guess, list widget for each of them. So
list view.builder is kind of like a for loop or like a map. So you're mapping over everything, and then the item builder is like the function that you're calling on each of those items. Is that right?
exactly.
Cool.
So yeah. So we can loop over them. So this item builder has a context and index. So you don't really need to worry about context so much, but yeah, you get the index. So by accessing the indexed rooms, you get the room, and then you can return a list title, which is a nice little widget we can give to a list view that creates a material design-ish design of a list view. So for title, we can give it room of what was the property of the
name
title?
of
Is
the
it
room?
title or name?
I think
Is
it's
it name?
name.
Okay. So the reason why it's complaining here is because I can just do like this for now. It'll work. Except it doesn't because I have not specified how many rooms there's gonna be. So item count is going to be rooms dot length. So hopefully this would clear it. Okay, so I think we have a very basic version of this working, except I'm not invited into any rooms at this point. So
I have invited you into a single room called Flutter
okay,
room.
great.
But let me just check that name was correct. I'm just pulling up the schema for rooms. Yeah, no, name is what it should be called.
Okay.
And so I've invited Tyler 3
Yep.
to the Flutter room.
I think we are getting something, but let's see. Print rooms first. So
I'm surprised we've gone this long without printing anything out. Just me coding. I'm just like,
yeah,
just drop a console log in here.
Tyler's
why not?
just that good.
Yeah.
let's look at debug console, except it's kind of big and hard to see.
It's not a subtype of string.
Okay.
That looks like you're getting.
So we're
back.
Getting something right. This is the whole user's information. I think this is it. So we have name, happy room. It looks like we're getting what we want, right? Except null is not subtype of rooms index. What's going on here? Room, yeah. So let's get rid of that. But let's see. So we have this. We have name.
So you're getting back.
Our name can be null. That's the problem. So you need, if there isn't a name,
right.
to give it a default.
Great call. That's why.
So I think we were just calling those untitled rooms. I think if it was an empty string.
Untitled. Okay.
That looks like JavaScript.
Great. Yeah.
It looks a lot like JavaScript.
Very similar,
So
right?
wait, why are you getting all of the rooms though? Because shouldn't you only get the rooms you've been invited to?
Isn't he logged in as Thor?
Right.
Okay, right.
Is that correct? But I registered as...
You've registered a new user.
I think we've
Tyler.
got email confirmation turned on, which we probably should turn off because it'll make it easier
right.
So it wouldn't have logged you out. I'm going to turn...
okay, that's good.
Enable email confirmation false. Should we do that?
Yeah.
Should we?
We can.
That's something we can actually take care in Flutter as well. So we
have... All right, I'll leave it on.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's something we should have talked about earlier, huh? But let's keep on going because it's I think we're getting somewhere. So we are creating this list of rooms page. Now we can create a chat page where we can, tap on it and go to a chat. But before that, one thing
it's already looking nicer than our Next.js app. Let's be honest. There's no overflow for one. It's like it's actually scrolling properly.
The coloring is not happy chat.
Missing the brand colors.
One thing I like to do is by default we don't have interfaces in Flutter, so we have to create a object for everything that we want it to properly be typed. Otherwise, we'll be accessing each of the properties like this, and I can make a typing mistake here and not know about it, and tough to deal with. So what I like to do is we can either create a type. I typically create a models folder, and inside here I create a room.dart, and I create a room class. So class room, and it has few properties: ID, what else? String, name. What else does it have? That's kind of it, isn't it?
Created at maybe, which
right.
is also probably a string.
Right. Created. And we can make this camel case because we'll be creating a constructor that'll convert everything to these map those properties to proper Dart properties anyway. So what we can do is room from room from, what am I doing wrong? Okay. Let's create a constructor first. Let's wrap everything in curly braces and make everything required. Now we can also create from map string dynamic. Getting this wrong? Yeah. So this.id equals, what I'm doing here is I'm creating a named constructor. I don't know if other programming languages has this concept, but here's the default constructor, and then we can have other types of constructors within Dart. So I'm creating a constructor to create a room object from a map that we pass into. And here we can do something like ID is room map.
So is a map similar
bracket.
to just like an object in JavaScript, like a JSON object where you have like a key value pair?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Also, Chris is saying, hello, Supabase. Welcome, Chris. We're building Flutter apps today. It's very cool.
Yeah, having a lot of fun here. And actually, we can change this string to a proper datetime field as well, because in this constructor, I think we can do a datetime parse in map of created. Yeah. So I think that's good. So we have created a room from map constructor. Now we can go back to the home page. And inside this home page, we can properly type this stream builder to be a list, which is pretty much an array of room. And
Cool.
then now it's complaining because this stream does not return a proper rooms object. So we can map over every single stream that we get and snapshot. Now each snapshot. Anything wrong? Oh. Okay. Now here we can do room dot from map. Except it's yelling at me because wait. So it's list of rooms, right? And I always get confused with these. Supabase instance, so we're loading rooms of stream. This will return a stream of list of map and function that takes, oh yeah, what am I doing? Okay, so let's do apps dot map, and then here we can call the constructor to create the rooms map constructor. And okay, so now I think everything's properly typed, hopefully, except room has no instance. Oh, right. Yeah, we didn't change the, and I don't know why it's not complaining here. So, oh, right, yeah, we don't need this. Now it's complaining properly, saying that room doesn't have a square bracket thing going on, but except instead you can access the name. Now rooms, why doesn't it have length? Wait, what? Length cannot be unconditional, right? Because rooms can be null. Let's see. I mean, it's never gonna be
Do we
not
return
null.
just a different like a different message if there aren't any rooms? Like, could we just return no rooms found or create a room or something if the list is empty?
Oh, right. Yeah, we can certainly do that. Yep. So let's do that. Rooms dot is empty. We can return.
We could just do like the text, like create a room or something, and then that's where we could fill in being able to actually click a button and create a room later.
Right. Okay. Great. I love that. So okay. So I think it's all set. Let's refresh it. Loading list of rooms. Nice. Properly typed and everything.
As well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So we have a rooms screen. Okay, do we want to build a chat screen so that we can have fun, talking to
Yeah,
each other from a JavaScript
absolutely.
app and Flutter
Oh
app?
yeah, that'd be awesome. Just
Yeah,
quickly
okay.
with the room. So in there you had like the string for the key and then dynamic as the property or the value for that. Is dynamic like any in
Any.
oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. All right, you've got my attention. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
everything is dynamic.
yeah. So generally, when you have a like a JSON object, you generally know that your key is a string, but you don't know what the value could be, right? It could be a number, it
Sure.
could be a string, it could be another object inside it. So generally, this is pretty much a standard format for like a general JSON object.
Cool. And
Yeah.
then I noticed you didn't need to like import this new class that you had created into your homepage. So is everything that exists within this project or everything inside that lib folder, is that just all kind of globally accessible? So if you create a new class in there, or did you
It's a
import it
great
at the top?
question, and I did import it
Okay.
actually. I did it so fast, I guess. So if I delete that, it's kind of like this, and then I
Yeah,
can
right. Cool. Okay.
do the
Awesome.
command dot or a quick fix. So yeah,
Sweet.
as I was typing it, it was automatically imported.
Cool.
Nice.
So okay, homes page is done. Let's create a chat page, chat room page, chat page, chat room
Yeah.
page, chat room page. So chat room page. Now.
Maybe we are
So
gonna get through this whole thing in in one stream or maybe a couple of streams.
I feel like
This
I
is
need to talk
amazing.
more, right? I'm kind of silenced when I'm typing, so
I
like
guess with
I
the when
should.
we were doing the Next.js streams, we were kinda, like, building out the Supabase backend as well and kinda, like,
Yeah,
solving those problems as we went. But still, this is, yeah, incredibly, efficient
I guess we
going
can
through building this out.
go back to the Supabase console and demonstrate how we already have the rooms table and everything, because people might tuning in starting this episode. So in the previous episodes, we built a Next.js version of this chat applications, and we created these four tables, and one of them being this rooms table. So this rooms table contains a room ID, which is just a UID for that room, and then created at, which is a created date timestamp for that room, and then a name for that room. And this is a table that we're loading data from right now. And the way I am doing it within this homepage is I'm loading from the rooms table, and I'm loading basically every single rows except we have row level security enabled on this table. So what that does is if we go to Authentication tab and Policies, we can see that Rooms table has row level security enabled. And in order to select a room from Rooms table, we need is room participant to be true, which means that we need to be a participant of that room in order to access that room. So automatically with this, we're getting only the rooms that we have participated in, and we're not getting the list rooms that we don't have permission to view or anything. So we don't really need to do any client-side filtering, and that's what I really like about Supabase is that we don't really need to worry about filters once we have the proper role level security set up.
Yeah, it really cleans up your application logic
Yeah.
where you can just say like, you already know who I am, so just give me all the things that I can see. Yeah, that's really cool. I actually wanted to test your streaming thing. So if I
Except we don't
create
have real time
oh, okay. I thought
enabled
you were
on
saying
rooms
that was
yet.
just gonna
Yeah.
magically work
Sorry,
because
yeah,
you
real time still needs to be enabled on the Supabase end in order to load the data on real time. But we can certainly do that on chat page. So
cool.
let's get into chat room page. This will be fun. So
Can we? Because I'm just interested as well. Can you just
yeah.
like put a bit of text on there and then show how the navigating between pages works? Like when we click on the
Oh
chat
yeah,
thing.
let's do that. So let's create an app bar here as well. App bar title is
Also,
eh,
Sergey is saying that dynamic keyword reminds them of C# a little bit. And so I think that's Tyler said at the start of was before we hit record, but that this is very, very similar to Java in the way that it's a very similar programming language to Java, and C# is almost identical to Java. So I think those two programming languages are very similar to what we're doing here.
Yep. So going to another page in Flutter is not as simple as I think it should be. Like there's quite a bit that you have to write, but essentially you're pushing a new route to your navigator, and then what you're pushing inside this navigator is kind of lot material page route. Yeah. So
what's the material part of the page route?
So Flutter by default is using material design, right. UI stuff, and what material page route is doing is material page route is the default page router transition thing. So it comes with nice animation and everything, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's kind of material design kind of looking thing. It's just a typical transition. So I don't know why it's called material page route. I think it should be called like a basic page route or something like that. But what it's doing is it's just providing a nice animation as we go into this next page. So you'll see it. I think this is done. So if we tap one of them, accept, okay. Is it responding? It's not responding because I haven't saved anything. Okay.
Classic. Nice.
Nice, right? So by default, since we're on iOS simulator, we have this natural page transition that you would expect on a iOS user. Now you have a different transition if you were running this on Android, and I'm sure you'll have a different transition if it was like a MacBook app or Windows app or a Flutter web. But so this material page route takes care of this natural looking adaptable page transition on whatever platform you're building on.
Can you build can Flutter build macOS apps? Is like
yes. They recently started officially supporting it. So macOS and Windows app and Linux apps are all supported on Flutter. And in fact, I think we have a folder for that. So here's a macOS and here's Linux. Do we have a Windows, web? Yeah.
That's crazy.
We don't even need the Next.js app.
Flutter Web has a long way to catch up to all the other really nice web frameworks, but it's a nice way to get something up and running, I guess. So it's very nice. So okay, chat rooms page. Let's receive the room ID here. So string of room ID. What did I do? Room ID, and we'll receive it here. This room ID, and that is required. Now, yes, instead of just passing the room ID, we can pass the entire room object, huh? So let's do that. Let's receive the entire room and this room. Let's import that. John, are you in a gym? Asks.
In a gym.
Bench pressing synths.
I'm not in a gym. I am in like a separate office to the rest of the house. But if you look this way, lots of cool synthesizers, and if you look this way, lots of cool synthesizers. So I'm just in my synthesizer haven. But some of these are very, very heavy, and I could probably bench press some synthesizers, but no, not in the gym. Thank you for your compliment.
So I think we got it working. So if I click into this a name, it says a name, a name.
That's awesome.
Untitled. And let me
Very
change
cool.
the rooms model a bit. So instead of having this, question untitled all over the place, we can just do that right here. So if name is null, we can just have untitled, and then we can make this a string for sure. Now, yeah, it's just whenever I change something midway through the application, it just starts complaining like that. But okay, now it should be working. We don't need this anymore. So it'll just say untitled if it's untitled. Now let's go into the fun part. Let's actually chat with each other. So body is gonna be stream builder.
It's going so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking, what are we gonna do with the rest of our streams? I guess we'll need to still style things, and yeah, if we
Yeah,
can
it's kind of ugly right now, so
try and step through deploying to an app store would be cool.
But and also that being said, we're always welcome. We always welcome ideas. So if you want to see us build a particular type of chat, or not chat app, but app or a web app, whatever you want to see with Supabase, as long as it involves Supabase, I'm sure we can justify it.
That's
so yeah, let us
so
know.
this is your opportunity for your new startup idea. If you just need to build the application, you just pitch it to us. Yeah, use a Supabase. You guys could just build it on the happy hour stream, and then basically you get 3 of us coding for free.
Magic.
That's nice. Okay, so
can I ask why you need to specify the ID in the?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the reason why we're doing is because for updates and deletes.
Oh, is it like a React key?
Yeah, kind of like that. We need to know which one to update or delete in the local state internally. And Realtime used to contain those information, like which one's the primary key in the payload. But with the previous update in December, when they added rollover security to Realtime, they got rid of that. So now we have to specify which one is the primary key so that this stream will know which one to delete or which one to update when there was an update payload coming in.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Now we want to do a builder context and snapshot, and let's just return an empty container for now, and let's properly type this as well. So we want to create a message dot, and this will be a message class with
ID created at content profile ID and room ID. There, I've got it up.
Time created at
lowercase t on that created at when you.
Oh, thank you.
Have a sec.
Profile ID, room ID, and is that it? Was it?
And the content of the message, yeah.
Most important. Okay. Yeah. Now, those things are for me. Okay. So let's also create a from map constructor that takes a map and converts it to a message object. So ID equals map.id. Probably do this, huh? There's a better way of doing it. Where's there? Can we do this? So maybe I'm overcomplicating this. Equals map. Wasn't too bad. Okay, so ID is good. Create it at. We're gonna wrap that into date time. Parse this, and then profile ID, room ID, content. It's
I think you
all
need to snake case
good.
the
Oh yeah,
strings as well.
great call. Thank you. Maybe I shouldn't have changed it, but okay, that should do it. Yeah, because in general Dart, I think, would it complain if I make it a snake case? Yeah, by default it's considered not Dart like,
Not idiomatic.
yeah. We can certainly change the lint settings, but that's the default settings and that's what everybody's using. So yeah, Dart is pretty strict, and that's another thing that I like about Dart. It allows you to get up and running with writing clean, beautiful code, even if you're just getting started. So
I really like the
oh,
like the comment of what you're closing as well. I don't know if that's just part of the plugin that you've got installed, but if you once you've written this bit, if you scroll back over to the left, like when you're
these
closing a
ones,
bracket,
yeah,
it tells you like which thing you're closing.
yeah,
Makes it super easy to pass. Like, yeah, when you've got so many different brackets. Is that an
right.
extension that you've just installed yourself, or is that the Dart
This
one?
is the default Flutter extension that everybody
Flutter,
gets.
yeah,
Yeah, so
cool.
it's not even like third-party one. It's the official Flutter extension that I have installed, and I'm not installing any other fancy tools. Just plain Flutter
That's
stuff,
very
and
cool.
yeah, it's very nice. It's really beginner friendly. Yeah, it's the reason why people love Flutter a lot.
Hmm.
Maps. We can map over this map array and convert them to messages. Message dot. Wait, I thought I created message.
I think Owen's
Haven't.
got a good question in the chat there, John.
Yeah, will we be able to view the app after it's done? So currently, you can check out the Next.js version of it is live on the web. Because we've only got like 20-25 minutes left in this stream, I don't think we'll get to deploying this to
App
an
Store.
app store. Tyler, is there a way that you can? I guess the code we could push up
Yeah,
to
we'll
GitHub.
just put the code on
Yeah.
Tyler's GitHub, and then we'll share the link to that, and then you can pull it down and run it yourself.
Yeah. Let's do that. And nice thing about it is it even has the URL, Supabase URL and Allen key, so you don't have to, know those variables. It's right there for you to just take and play around with it. So yeah,
Nice.
no environment variables whatsoever.
And Sergi's just saying that this looks like a dream job. Generate ideas and build startups with Supabase. Yeah, that's that's kind of why we wanted to start this stream series, because we just get to build, like, just come up with cool ideas, build things with Supabase every week. It's it's a lot of fun.
So let's return if messages. Oh yeah, I haven't specified the type here. So this is going to be list of message. And then if it's empty, turn what should we return? Something like no one has started talking yet. Okay. Now,
No one wants
otherwise,
to talk to you. That's not a happy chat. That's a sad chat.
sad. That's so sad. Loop through each message using this list view builder component where we have message equals messages index. Okay. And return a chat bubble. Okay. So we're gonna work on the styling later on, but for now, let's just return the content. And This is complaining because... Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, I think it's ready to view, except I need to do this. Okay. This is good. This is good. I think we have built a... Wow.
Whoa.
So let's try to get into the same room. Which one's a nice room to...
If you go Flutter, I think I created one called Flutter Room.
Nice. Okay.
Oh
I
no,
didn't
this
get
is
an
not.
invite to the Flutter room.
No, you didn't. No, I can invite you now, but it looks like maybe that's pulling in messages from everything.
Right.
So I think we need to
great.
scope that down to
Yeah, let's
just messages for this channel
do that. So
or messages for this room.
I guess here I haven't set any filters or order by clause or anything. So what we can do is we can filter it by using the real-time syntax of filtering things. So we can do room ID equals EQ dot room.
That's really cool. So how does that work when with the initial fetch, the HTTP one?
So it's under the hood. It's just using Postgres and real-time combined together. It's just doing the same thing that we did with the Next.js app, but it's built inside the SDK, and we wanted to.
It's really neat. But I'm wondering how because the syntax for filtering on real-time versus filtering in Postgres are different. So are you internally passing those out?
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah,
Tyler doing the work for you.
Yeah. I thought, I wanted to provide a better user experience, especially for people who come in from the Firebase world, that I wanted to give them, a closer feel with to a Firebase experience. And this this concept of stream is really popular among Flutter developers, and they like to put everything in a stream, and they just like to listen to it and render UIs from a stream. And we didn't have that in the real time, and people had to build their own stream from scratch using their real-time listeners and Postgres. And if you were gonna create a stream anyway, why not just put it in the SDK, is what I said. And we went with creating this nice stream method, which takes care of the initial fetch as well as the ongoing built-in data.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so we even have a order by.
You built this before you even worked at Supabase, right? This was just community, community contributions on the open source project. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I think this was built, I don't know, September, August last year, something like that.
And I guess that's why you now have a job at Supabase, because this is incredible.
Yeah, thanks. So by default, everything's ascending to in Dart world because I feel like most cases you want ascending to, ascending false by default, and that's most of the case what you want. So I think this is good. We have filtering and we have order it by created at. So let's jump through these.
I think you need to save the chat room page.
Great call. Why do I keep forgetting that? I never forget that. I'm constantly hitting save when I'm developing by myself. But okay, this is.
And while we're waiting for that to catch up, Afsa has a pro tip that you add the prefix super in front of anything, and you've got yourself a startup idea. Definitely, that's a build it with Supabase, put super in front of it, and we'll do our best to make you famous from our socials. And then when is the support for Android native coming up? So is this specifically a Flutter question?
No, I think it's just like the Android SDK or the iOS
Kotlin SDK, right? Yeah.
Oh, as in for Supabase, like building an SDK for specifically for native Android. I get you.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that we're currently working on an Android native SDK, but all of Supabase is open source, and we encourage people like Tyler who want jobs at Supabase to
yeah, that's a great way to get a job at Supabase. You want a job at Supabase, build a Kotlin SDK of Supabase, and I'm sure Paul,
Absolutely.
couple, our CEO would love that.
Or even just starting the discussion and talking about like what that would look like and what the use cases are for it and things like that. Like just getting involved with the discussion on the Supabase repo would be a really good way to get something like that built.
I think we have something going on, but I
Oh.
think it's I don't know how much of the features it has. So in Kotlin we have Postgres Kotlin and GoTo Kotlin, and we don't have anything else. So there's a great opportunity here. You can expand on these Postgres Kotlin or GoTo Kotlin, or you can create real-time Kotlin, storage Kotlin, functions Kotlin, and yeah, become a maintainer. That's how I got started with Supabase. When I first discovered Supabase, there was only JavaScript SDKs, and I think later on when I came back a few months after that, I found a Postgres Dart, and I asked the maintainer, um, if there's plan to create other SDKs for Dart, and he said yes. So and I asked him if can I be a part of it? Can I help out? And yeah, he kindly said yes, and that's how I got started involved in this Dart SDK. So we're always welcome for community support, and if you're interested in helping us out by creating or maintaining one of these SDKs, that'll be hugely appreciated.
Totally. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't know that, like the Swift one. I didn't realize that we had such coverage across the
Yeah.
board on Swift.
I think we
That's very
even have
cool.
a YouTube video on how to get started with Flutter. I mean, not Flutter, Swift, and Supabase.
Right.
Like
That's
not
awesome.
official, but like someone else made that video. So yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
nice. It's nice.
And so how many open PRs one should have to get a job? Just one. It just has to be the right one. No, I'm joking. But yeah, PRs are an awesome way to get involved with the community and yeah, help other people out, build things that you want to exist, and yeah, definitely highly regarded when having those discussions of potentially working at Supabase.
So should I click into Flutter Room?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I've written hi friends.
Hi,
Um,
friends.
Vita is also joining us.
Oh, nice.
Hey, welcome
Nice.
from Tampa. We are getting towards the end of the stream, but yeah, we've been building this awesome Flutter app with Tyler, which is very cool. So
Nice. It's
yeah,
working, right? Real-time
the real
accent
time's
is.
all magically just
Thank you. Thank you for noticing this. Ascending is wrong. So we want to flip it, right? We want to have the new chats at the bottom. Now
yeah.
we don't even have to struggle there. This list view builder has a scroll direction which takes a axis. No, not scroll direction, not scroll direction. What is it? Reverse, false, which would
Wait, reverse true?
reverse true. Yeah. What am I doing? Which would put everything at the
Oh,
bottom.
okay.
And now new things are coming at the bottom, right? If you type something in. Did the real-time listener kind of go off? Is it not
I think
working?
you need to reload. I think the real-time listener went off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, no, not that one.
Oh no, it's the Flutter room. And then if I send a new one saying, sorry, just hit the mic. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
awesome.
Okay.
That's working.
Let's make this bigger. So let's give it a nice coloring as well. What was the chat bubbles color for this?
They were blue. Oh, you want the actual hex?
No, just like general, like light blue, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, light blue. As in, sorry, they're for the ones that you sent. The ones that someone else sent were gray and on the left.
Okay. So let's just do this for now. We can give some coloring. We can wrap it with padding so that it has some spacing in between. Let's see. Now we want to wrap all this in non-align. So now everything's aligned to the center, but we can align everything to center left. Now we want to also, let's see, instead of using a container, we can use a material, maybe. Material, colors, blue, 200. So this is easy way to get started with the nice
cool.
looking.
So it even contains like a whole color palette, like Tailwind, where you can just say a color and 100 or 200 or 800 to control the shade of it, the hue. That's awesome.
Yeah. Exactly. And these are taking from material design palettes. So that's a little bit of material design part of what are going on. But yeah.
So that's like baked in by default or available by default, but then you can install your own. I'm assuming maybe there's a Bootstrap theme and
I don't know. Like typically I just use these color palettes. So I can always use the hex value as well. So I just create a bunch of constants file with my own color scheme, and that's kind of it. But
cool.
Yeah. Padding. This is, I guess, the boring part, huh? Just styling everything nicely. Let's give it a border radius. Border radius in Flutter is kind of tedious. Like it's, I think, very complicated. Border radius. What was it? Border radius. Let's forget it. Border radius circular. 8 or something. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's getting better. And if we do elevation, this will give them some material design shadows.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is kind of nice,
Very
right?
cool.
Elevation. Spacing, maybe more padding right here as well.
So is it possible to do like conditional styling here? Like, can we do the
Yeah,
like
if it's
messages
yours.
from someone else on the left and yours on the
Yeah,
right?
let's do that. So we can probably get the user ID here, right? Supabase, because users for sure logged in at this point, so I think it's okay to just get the user one time. Get auth. What is it? User. Current user. I think it's user. Dot ID. Let's just do that. Let's just do this to be safe. Now, if we want to conditional styling, so let's do, you know what? Let's do this first. I haven't added a form yet, so I cannot type anything at this point, so we're not going to be able to see.
Well, no, because some of the messages Jon's been typing, you're logged into Thor, right? So I think it will be okay to
I forgot about
put
that.
it over, because I think we'll probably run out of time otherwise.
Oh,
I reckon if you can get it over to the right and then push to GitHub, I think that'll be golden.
Yeah.
Okay, so message dot profile ID. If it's yours, is it on the left or is it on the right?
If it's not yours, then it's on the left. If it's yours, it's on the right.
Yeah. So right now, all those messages are not ours, or they look like it.
Right. Okay. Okay, so that's
so easy. Look at that.
And then we can also change the color.
So yeah, it was kind of like a light gray if it was ours.
Hey. I like this. Is it too light?
Other way around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know which message is mine and which message is not. So
I actually both should be the other way around. I said
Yeah.
Tyler is the MVP.
oh wait, what?
So the edge insert, not edge. What am I on about? Yeah, that one. Those just flip, and then that's perfect.
Okay.
That's
Does
awesome.
this look great? Okay, great.
Yeah.
I think
wow,
we have
that was so fast.
Yeah.
basics. Yeah, basics is done. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good for today, right?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
push it up to GitHub so
Okay,
people
let's do
can
that.
have access to that code.
What was the trick that you were using? I never use I never use CLI to create a GitHub repo, but I always use this trick, repo.new
Ah, cool.
takes you
That's
straight to
very
this
cool.
create a
That's
new
cool,
repo
yeah.
page. So
I've been getting
happy
into the
that-
GitHub CLI. It's so good, especially for like
Really?
doing a lot of code review, like GitHub PR checkout and then just the PR number. And even if it's in someone else's repo or whatever, it just it pulls it in as it should. It's very
Oh,
handy.
Very cool.
nice. I'm gonna need to start getting into that then. So wait, terminal. Initial commit. Think that is good. Okay. You got it's fun.
Awesome.
Should
Yeah.
I put it in the comments?
Yeah, chuck that in the comments, and then we'll also add it to the description of this video so you can jump directly to that and get the code. But yeah, this is looking amazing. That's
Yeah, looking pretty
so
good.
cool how far we've been able to come in one stream versus our 7 others.
It really helps when the backend is already complete, right?
Yeah,
So
and
you have a
that's like
full-blown
this
backend. Yeah.
this proves exactly what we're trying to do with this series, that like we can have one Supabase backend that can serve multiple apps. Like we could build another remix app, we could build, you know, a native macOS app or whatever. We can build all these different types of clients that are all using the same Supabase backend, because that's giving us all of the pieces that we need to build our application. We get auth, we get Realtime, we get database storage. Yeah, super cool. Very cool.
It's been amazing. Yeah, there's few cleanups that I want to do, so probably we can start from there. Like how the real-time listener kind of dropped off. I kind of know what the reason is, and I probably can fix that. So let's do that. And I guess we have to fix the styles, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Sending messages, adding people to rooms. We've still got a bit of functionality to go.
Yeah,
So
it'll be fun.
7 streams for Next.js and then just like 2 for Flutter, and we're done.
That's right. Yeah, Afsar is saying next we had end-to-end encryption and uninstall WhatsApp. So yeah, you might actually be able to do this already, actually, with the Sodium plugin that now I'm pretty sure is that included now in Supabase?
I think it's still
projects?
You know, again, sneak peeks, hints for what's coming up. I'm not sure it's fully in yet, but there are things happening.
Very close. Very close. Do you want me to quickly share and I can go through share this one? Yeah. If you want more awesome content like this, make sure you go check out our YouTube channel. Click subscribe, click the little notification bell, and you'll find out when we're doing awesome stuff like this, or when Tyler is putting out awesome Supabase tips and things like that. If you want to follow us individually, highly recommend following Tyler at D Shukert Jr., Alaister at Alaister Young, and me at Jon Meyers _IO. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed learning about Flutter as much as we did. And yeah, I think next week we will be continuing our journey with Flutter, and we'll see whether we can get styling, some of that, yeah, all the last little bits implemented. And then, yeah, I'd be really keen to see if we can try to at least talk about how we would go through the process of getting this available on an app store, because yeah, that's definitely a missing piece that I've always been very excited to learn. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Yeah,
And
thanks
thank
everyone.
you, Tyler.
It was so much
That was
fun.
awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you for all of your amazing knowledge, Tyler, and being the polyglot genius that you are.
I'll remember to talk more as I'm typing. Like I feel like I tend to shut up, when I'm coding. So like I'm always amazed at you, Jon, how you can type and code and talk at the same time. That's amazing.
These happy hour streams just give us so much appreciation for the awesome people that we work with. It's it's excellent. All right. Have a good week, everyone, and we will see you with some more awesome Flutter content next week.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
See ya.